Hello and welcome back to the Orlando Adventures podcast. I'm your host Russ, and today I am joined by another really exciting guest. I have got Ashley from Disney Through Our Veins. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Ross. Nice to talk.
It's my pleasure. It really, really is. Honestly, I love your content. I really do. So, any excuse for us to talk about Orlando, I'm all over it. All over it.
Yeah, agreed. Any chance to talk to anyone about Orlando, I'm there.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And you know what it's like. It's kind of like you try and talk to like your friends and family about it, and sometimes people just kind of don't get it.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do you keep going back to the same place? Whereas like in this space with this community, we all love it.
Yeah. Great to have such a committed community to Orlando.
yeah, it is fantastic. So kind of to get into it, who are you, Ashley, and what is Disney Through Our Veins?
So Disney Through Our Veins is my Instagram account and my YouTube account, which I run with like my husband. He's not into the podcast thing. I said to him, do you want to come on? He's like, no, not for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So it's like my Instagram. So like the Instagram's kind of done by myself. And then, we love Disney as a couple, which is quite, usually there's one person that's more into it than others. But no, as soon as I say I want to go to Disney, he's like, yeah, price it up. So
yeah, love that. An enabler, a Disney enabler.
Yeah. I'm the thought. I'm the thinker, and then he's that. Yeah, just push the button, book it.
yeah, love that. That's the kind of like it's what you need in a relationship.
Yeah.
You need someone to come up with the ideas, the other person to back it, and just go right. Let's do it.
It's serious though, money wise.
yeah, indeed. What kind of made you start the Instagram and the YouTube then?
So Instagram started for me kind of 2016, 2017. Liked posting my pictures, wasn't that into it at that point. And then in 2020 I actually lost my Instagram account, but the first one I started.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think I was hacked. I couldn't get it back, so I decided to start a new one. So it was actually kind of like starting afresh kind of helped like push my desire to put more content out.
Yeah.
So the one I've got is kind of like I try and post a couple of times a week, but life gets in the way. I always try and update my stories with like different memes, Disney quotes, all that kind of stuff. The YouTube channel was kind of more my husband's kind of thought process, thinking, oh, I'd quite like to do like just like maybe days out, things like that. And then obviously when you go to Disney, you take the camera along and you do your trips. So it's just kind of grown from that. So I wouldn't say we're a dedicated Disney account on our YouTube. There is a lot of days out, get to know us. We kind of vlog our lives a little bit. So Disney's just kind of part of that. But
yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. Is it kind of like more like a travel channel, or is it kind of like daily life stuff as well?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of everything. I wouldn't put us straight into the travel channel. We do have quite a lot of like. We'd like to go when we've not got Disney or anything. We like to go like hotel trips, like weekends away and stuff like that. Not having children, we're quite spontaneous. That we'll be like, oh, should we just book a night in a hotel? And then we'll kind of like do a vlog of like the room tour and that. They always do really well on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you do a vlog of like a hotel room that someone's not been to, you get quite a lot of hits because people are wanting to know what the rooms are like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's good. It's a good review as much as anything, isn't it? Because like you know what it's like. You're looking at a hotel and you're kind of like trying to find out information. Well, the best way surely is YouTube, where you can see it and see what someone else has literally said and thinks of it, opposed to just reading about it. Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea. I really, really do. And I suppose with regards to kind of like the Disney side of stuff, and Orlando especially, what kind of gave you like inspiration? Were there like different vloggers? Were there different kind of content creators that in particular kind of motivated you to do it?
Yeah, I think the big ones, like Tim Tracker, Crispy S'more, who I know don't actually vlog that much anymore. We are actually quite good friends with them because we worked with them in Florida, so we know them quite well.
Yeah.
So they were actually, one of the first vloggers that we watched, them and Tim Tracker. And then like obviously you've got like Molly and all the American ones. And then like you've got Eleanor Dreamin in the UK and all the people like that, kind of like, like oh, we're not going to be as big as them, but it might be helpful for us to put our content out there.
Of course.
Hired us to do it.
Yeah, nice. And the main thing is like enjoying doing it. And, and if you enjoy like picking the camera up and being able to kind of look back at your memories as much as anything as well. Like, yeah, absolutely fantastic. And you kind of touched on it with regards to how you kind of met Crispy S'mores. So you used to work in Walt Disney World, was it?
I did, yeah. So I worked in the Epcot theme park in the UK pavilion.
Yeah.
So if anyone doesn't know, Epcot's like made up of countries, and each country has representatives from each country working at that pavilion. So I went and did that in 2007.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went and did that and actually met my husband.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
The story of how we met is not, I don't like really I don't think, but like let's just say we had our first kiss at the back of the Chippy. Yeah, so he was already partway through his program when I arrived. So he was 9 months into his program when I arrived. So he was quite, he worked his shifts, and then I arrived and kind of had like dates in the Magic Kingdom, and it was amazing. Really cool.
That's so magical. That is amazing. It really, really is.
Yeah.
And how long were you actually out in Orlando, like kind of on your program then?
So you could be out there for a year. After 4 months, I decided that was enough for me. I'm not gonna say Disney was amazing to work for.
Yeah.
But I felt like I'd had enough. My family came out, and I found out I was young. I was only 23 when I did it, and it was the first time being away from home. I had quite bad homesickness. I think if I went and did it now, not that I would do the full year, because it was such an amazing experience. But back then, at the time, it just didn't feel like the right thing for me to continue for a year. So I did it, and then when Rob, my husband, went home, I decided that was the time for me to go home as well.
Yeah.
6 months long distance, because he's from Birmingham and I'm from Edinburgh, and then decided that one of us needed to make the decision to move. So he moved up to Edinburgh, and that's where we live now.
Oh, amazing. I love it. I think it's a great story. It really, really is.
Everyone, like, how did you meet? Like, he's from Birmingham, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Everyone's
yeah, in Epcot. yeah, amazing. It's a good story. It really is. And I suppose obviously you went on your program, so you must have been a big fan of going to Disney World.
Yeah.
Already. So when did you first go to Orlando then?
So I went to Orlando. The first time I went was in 1997, and it was a family holiday with another family. So there was 8 of us in total, and we had a villa down in Indian Ridge, just off the 192. And the Magic Kingdom was the birthday cake for the 25th. So I never actually got to see the castle until I went back later on, like as it actually. So yeah, when everyone says about the pink birthday castle, I was like, that was the first time I ever went.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
There was no Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom didn't open until 98, so they were building it when I first went there.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool though. That's cool. Like how like I suppose since then though, like how many times have you been to Orlando then?
With family, my mum and dad, before I worked there, probably was like every couple of years. We did villa holidays, and then with Rob, we did a few years after we left, 2012, and then we didn't go back for a few years again, and then we went for a honeymoon. So we tend to go every second year, just to make it, we like to do things nice, not nicer, but like, not on
kind of go all out. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Yeah.
Don't have the funds to do that every year, unfortunately. Yeah, so we like to save a little bit, go on a smaller holiday, and then do every 2 years, so we can have a bit more of a nicer time. So I would say every 2 years, probably. Yeah, so I'd say maybe 10, 15 times.
Yeah, it's been a few. It's definitely been a few at this point. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Have you, like, with regards to kind of like what made you fall in love with Orlando then? Because obviously you've been going since 97. What in particular?
I think it's the escapism of the parks. Like, you can just go into Universal, Disney, even SeaWorld and Bush, like, and just forget the real world. Even like, being on the 192 or iDrive, the restaurants are so different from what we've got in the UK, and you can just forget being at home.
Yeah.
So there's no place like it in the world, and everyone always asks, "Oh, why do you go back?" And I'm like, "Well, you can't really explain it. It's like its own wee in and it's like, it draws you back because there's something all the time."
This is it, and until you've done it, I don't think you'll ever understand. And it's that kind of going on the once in a lifetime trip, and I say this a lot, but the once in a lifetime trip that never ends up being once.
No, and like, they're looking at booking when they come back.
And that's it. And I know we all say about like the Disney blues and the Orlando blues, and it's something else. Like we a lot of us, we've been on holidays to different destinations around the world, and it never hits the same or as hard as coming back from an Orlando trip. It really doesn't.
I'd be 100%. Yeah, I'm that person in the airport at, like, when departing Orlando, and I'm looking for the next holiday.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, honestly, and it's the best way. It's I know it's expensive. It's the expensive way to get over it, but it's the way to get past the Disney blues, most certainly.
Agree.
Where is it you typically like look to stay when you're out in Orlando then? Are you a villa, hotels, on-site, off-site?
When I used to visit with my parents, they would always like, the villa and stuff. We have not done a villa as a couple because I just don't think for the two of us, you can't really find a small enough villa. It's something I would look at in the future because I do like, the idea of having a bit more of a chill by the pool, but I know that the lure of the parks will just pull me in.
Yeah. So
we have done staying at Disney on site, which I absolutely love, like full dining plan, when they did it amazingly, like 2 quick service, 2 snacks and all that kind of stuff. Last time we went, we stayed at Universal, we stayed at Surfside, and we absolutely loved that because it was still, close enough to Disney that we could go to Disney, and it was at Universal. It was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Really handy for like going to the International Drive restaurants, and we just like a bit of a mix of everything. So I think our days of staying at Disney on site are probably over. I say probably because you never know.
Yeah. This is it. The mouse has a way of drawing us back in. Yeah, 100%. And I suppose it leads us on quite nicely as to when was your most recent trip then?
So our last trip was September 2023. So last year, yeah.
Just over a year, yeah.
Over a year. Yeah.
And you said that was Surfside?
Yeah, we stayed at Surfside. We did Universal mainly, and we only did a few days at Disney last year, only because of the costs. And we thought we'd do like more kind of, we did SeaWorld, we did Bush, we did a lot on iDrive. We just kind of had a bit more of a kind of away from Disney holiday, which was hard actually.
Yeah. That's it. And a lot of people think of Orlando, they think of Disney, but at the same time, like, Universal's massive. Like Universal, there's so much to do at Universal. You can do a lot of days at Universal, but also once you put things like Busch Gardens and SeaWorld in there, like you said, that's a lot of days. And then doing stuff kind of down International Drive and around Orlando as well. It's a long time. It's a lot of stuff to do. How long did you actually go for?
We were there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we flew with 2A from Manchester, and stayed at Surfside, had 2-week Universal passes, bought a 1-day pass for Epcot because I won't go to Florida or Orlando without doing Epcot. It's a non-negotiable for us because obviously it
holds a special place. Yeah.
We did an evening at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which was a complete washout.
Oh no.
We got on my favorite rides though, so that was fine. But we only did the 2 days in the 2 Disney parks. So
yeah, fair enough. And what did you do at Busch Gardens? Was it just a day at Busch Gardens?
Yeah, it was just a day at Busch Gardens. We got the pass that included SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and we did Discovery Cove for the first time as well. That's another park that lured us in. We'd never done that before. I'm not a huge fan of water parks or swimming with sea life. That's not my thing. However, husband loves any kind of sea life related. So he really wanted to Discovery Cove. So he loved that. I loved it too, but yeah, it was just a different day because it was very chilled.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And obviously, like Busch Gardens is a flat out day.
Yeah.
It's a lot. To be fair, it's a lot of roller coasters, isn't it?
Yeah,
Busch Gardens. I'm a fan, but I know it's quite an intense day.
it is.
SeaWorld, a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. Like obviously, again, and they're going a lot more towards like big thrill rides.
Yeah.
Than what it has been over the years, which is nice. Is there any other stuff kind of around Orlando and Florida that you did as well? Any other activities?
No, just shopping.
Yeah.
Shop. Like I would say my husband is actually a bigger shopper than me. Like
Really?
like a Nike, like an outlet, a Levi's outlet, anything kind of like discounted shopping. We did at least 2 or 3 days like just shopping.
Yeah, nice. To be fair though, like there's so many, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know, like I've done episodes on it, but there's like obviously outlets and factory stores, and then you've got the malls. Like by the time you get into all of those, and the deals seem to change from like week to week as well.
Yeah.
So so like by the time you've gone hunting for some deals and then decided, oh, I'll get them at another time, and then you go back the next week or whatever, you know, it's a lot of shopping and a lot of fun. It really is. Have you got like any must-dos every trip? I appreciate you said Epcot, but is there any other stuff like any parks, any kind of activities, rides that are always a must-do for you?
I think kind of different parks is different. So like Universal ET is a must-do for us.
Yeah.
And about it just kind of like takes me back to my childhood. Don't know what it is. Hubbies would say the Hulk at Islands of Adventure. That's like his favorite roller coaster in Florida.
Yeah, fantastic.
Me, I think it's GRV track. I think it's too bumpy.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy though, isn't it? Because I think it was retracked 8 years ago.
Yeah,
2016, which is mad to think that, because it is rough. It's a headbanger. It really is. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, sadly. But I do agree. Nice. There's some good shouts. Any kind of like must-dos in terms of restaurants? You mentioned kind of like eating out down International Drive and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're a big fan of like, kind of like the cheap and cheerful. We love Chili's, Applebee's. Came across Buffalo Wild Wings last time and they were really good.
Yeah.
And at Icon Park was just amazing. Kind of chose too hot a spice for me though, so there's thought I could handle, because like American's version of spice and like the UK's version of spice is quite different, I think.
Yeah.
So medium, thinking, oh, it won't be that bad, and it was.
Yeah. It was hot. It was a UK hot. Yeah.
Yeah, but we love places like that, cheap and cheerful. But then also we always do Margaritaville at City Walk, because we love their nachos from there, because we usually just get a plate of them to share, and they're massive.
Yeah.
So we definitely recommend that to anyone looking for like, I think they're about $16-17, and yeah, they would feed a family of 4.
Yeah, they're not bad. That's not, I've seen the portion sizes and they are big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great place. I love the look of it. I really do. And I suppose leading on from your most recent trip, have you got a next trip lined up as of yet?
We're booked for September 2025.
Yeah.
So it's a big birthday next year for me. So we've had this booked since April this year. I suppose it is quite a big trip, because we've got Universal passes, we've got Disney passes, we've got premium Virgin flights, we're staying at Aventura this time at Universal.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I always say I think it's a stunning looking hotel. It really is. Apparently there's a rooftop bar which apparently is different level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For that. And then hubby was like, oh, I really fancy like a nice car, so we've got a convertible as well booked.
Yeah.
It's something that we personally choose not to do Orlando without a car.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like Ubers and stuff like that, but we like the freedom of having a car.
Yeah, agreed. I'm on team car as well.
Yeah.
Always. I think like you said, it's just a bit of freedom, and I appreciate you can do everything without a car. But for me, very much like at home, if I want to go and do something, I'm going to go and get in the car. I don't live kind of like big city, so I'm not going to use public transport loads. It's not not my way of doing it. I feel like you can see more of Orlando as well with the access to the car. But yeah, so nice. Obviously, got quite a lot of plans coming up with regards to your next trip. Are you going to be doing Epic Universe as well? Do you reckon?
We will do. We're still like undecided. We're thinking we might go back in 2026 as well. I know we said we always try to.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it. The holiday that we went on this year was just to Spain, and we were like, oh, we really had fear of missing out, of FOMO, watching everyone else's stories in Orlando.
Yeah.
Everyone on Instagram was in Florida.
Yeah, it has felt like that, hasn't it?
You know what? I just think we should just maybe try and do a bit more of a budget one in 2026. We'll stay, iDrive. We'll still get a car, and we'll maybe just do the same as we did and get like Universal passes and just do Disney a couple of days. I know that probably won't happen, but yeah. So we're undecided about whether we're going to do Epic next year, or maybe wait and see what the crowds are like as the summer on, and then kind of make that decision nearer the time.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, obviously, I've been seeing it. I'm sure you have as well on kind of like Instagram this week, and a lot of people getting their tickets booked, and it's exciting and it's amazing. I dread to think how busy it's going to be in May. I really want to go. Don't get me wrong. When it opens, but I don't think I could enjoy it. I think it'd be so busy.
Agreed.
So yeah, I'm a bit like you. Obviously, I'm planning on going later next year as well. But I think we'll try and brave it later in the year. But if I were going any earlier, I think it'd be a pass. Sadly.
Oh, do you? Because I think September is always one of the quieter months, but I don't think there will be a quiet time for Epic. I think it will just be constant next year.
Certainly for the next year or two, it's going to be very busy all the time, isn't it? Yeah. Is there a land in that park that you're looking forward to the most, do you reckon?
I think the Universal Monster one. I think because people seem to be forgetting about it, because obviously they've got the Super Nintendo Land and the Harry Potter, which I'm sure will be amazing. I like a Universal Horror Monster. I was devastated when they got rid of the Universal Horror restaurant. Make the Minions. I loved that. That was so my vibe, like dark, creepy, cool, So I'm hoping that that's the sort of vibe that you get in that part of the park. It looks like it will be.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that. I did an episode on it last week, and one of the restaurants, apparently there's actors walking around. It's gonna be very dark. Apparently there's gonna be scare actors in the queues of the rides and stuff like that. So they're going for it. So I mean, if you're into kind of that kind of dark universe, I think they're really going all in on it, which would be really excited. Yeah. Nice, good shout. The next part of the podcast is a little segment I call Keep, Update and Close. So I've given you 3 options. I've been really horrible, I know. I'm sorry. The 3 options I gave you were Space Mountain, Spaceship Earth, and Tower of Terror. What way are you going, do you reckon?
Oh, this is so hard because they're
classics. I know.
Of their own ways, but I think I'm gonna go Spaceship Earth. Yeah, I just think it's such a nice classic ride. You get to sit and listen to Judi Dench, and then you get a nice chill. We always try and do it as our last ride at Epcot because it's nice and air conditioned, and it calms us down after we've fallen asleep on that so many times.
Yeah.
So we around the world, and we're going to get a taxi or something, and that's your last night we've fallen asleep. But yeah, I think Space Mountain is amazing, but again it's rickety and it's however, one of the best rides I ever had on Space Mountain was during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in the dark when it had the flashing lights. Oh, it was just the best ride ever. And then Tower of Terror again is amazing, but it's over too quickly. yeah.
Nice. So which one are you closing? Sorry.
I think I'm going to close Tower of Terror.
Closing Tower of Terror. Update Space Mountain. I know. I've given you the options. I can't. I can only feel bad that they were the choices I gave you. But you're going for Keep Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
Update Space Mountain.
Yeah.
make that a bit smoother, and you're going to close Tower of Terror because over too quick. And kind of leads me on to the kind of 5 final questions which I ask every guest in every episode, and these kind of the big 5.
Yeah.
And what is, out of all of the parks in Orlando, favorite ride?
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, all day long, straight off the bat, no questions.
I just love it. Like, it's just, yeah. I mean, I think that's the reason I bought the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tickets, was just to ride that, because the thought of going to Orlando and not riding it is just not.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, and I want all the merch, and I can't afford to pull the merch.
Absolute, it's one of those absolute non-negotiable, and one of those. I'm sure you've been going on this like for years.
Mm-hmm.
So nostalgia as well. I'm sure it holds like such a special place.
Yeah.
Absolute classic. And I suppose from favorite ride then to favorite park,
would have to be Epcot. I think that was kind of it. It's very hard because obviously Magic Kingdom is the Disney park, but I think working in Epcot and all the memories that it holds, you know, Illuminations will always be like the best fireworks show for me. Anyone can say, "Oh, Happily Ever After is amazing," but Illuminations will always be the GOAT for me.
yeah, I feel that, and obviously, you know, you've got the nostalgia of, you know, it's where you met Rob. Like,
exactly.
You know, you did your program, you met Rob there. You've got obviously fantastic memories of spending 4 months in that park.
Exactly.
And you know, I appreciate that you're working, but there's bound to be, you know, fantastic memories of having spent a lot of time in that park. And like you said, it's a must do every trip for you.
Of course, yeah. It's
Cool.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, love that. And hidden gem. So this is like hidden gem. So attraction, or hidden gem is in terms of attraction, ride, most underrated. What do you reckon?
Oh, see, I love the Grand Fiesta Tour in Mexico.
Yeah, it's such a good shout. Honestly, if I were to give one, it's mine. I think it's such a good shout. It's what a fun little ride.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So,
God.
So hidden in like the pavilion. It's amazing how many people don't know it's there.
Yeah.
And on it, you're like, oh, this is actually like, it's a small world, but actually a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I honestly shout about it quite a lot. I think it's brilliant. And like you said, it genuinely, in terms of hidden gem, it is literally that.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't happen to go into that pavilion and just wander down to the back, you literally wouldn't know it's there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's quite, you know, it's a fair length. It's not like one of those over in kind of 45-second kind of rides. It feels like you're on there for a few minutes. It's chilled, it's relaxed, it's in the aircon. Yeah. What more can you want? Yeah, perfect. I mean, it's a really good shout. It really is. And it just kind of leads us on to the potential controversial one of a most overrated ride.
This is going to be controversial.
You've already shut Tower of Terror, so
Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage, yeah.
Just wasn't that impressed.
No.
Oh, I know. I think because of the hype that I had, it kind of it was good, and I would do it again. I've only done it the once, so I would probably want to do it again. But like, it was so hyped up in my head, and kind of when I got off, I was like, oh, it was good, but I felt like I wanted more. I don't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so overhyped, and you know, I think I prefer Soarin'.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, yeah, it's a classic again, and it's an Epcot. But yeah, I know what you mean, and like that's the whole thing with like the overrated. It's stuff that gets hype, and I will say that Flight of Passage, it gets a lot of hype.
It does.
It gets like a lot of people say it's their favorite ride. A lot of people say it's the best ride they've ever been on, which is fair enough, and like each to their own. But at the same time, I'm kind of with you. I'm with you in the sense of like, is it the best thing ever? Like, does it live up to like the hype that everyone gives it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I can understand the justification of it. I really can. And final question then: what is your best thing to do outside of the parks?
That's a hard one. I think it's probably going to maybe somewhere, a restaurant getting a nice cocktail, having
Yeah.
having some good food, American food, ribs, burgers, like only you can get in the States. You know, a really nice like margarita, and just
Mhm.
planning out your next day in the parks. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about that, isn't there?
yeah,
Like just going for a proper kind of American feel dinner. And yeah, like you said, just going, what are we going to do tomorrow? What time do we need to get up? What time we get? Yeah, I love that. And that's it's such a unique thing to Orlando, isn't it? And we all do it. And I think it's such a great shout. And I'm sure you've done it over the years on all of your trips, I'm sure. And it's kind of like evolved as you've gone with different people and different groups and stuff. And yeah, it's a magical thing. It really, really is. And and the food is always going to be such an amazing part of Orlando as well.
yeah.
Yeah, great shout. Love it. Fantastic. That wraps us up. That is all my questions. I'm questioned out. I've asked you a lot of questions. So, I obviously, I really appreciate you coming up with fantastic answers for all of them as well. I really do. So this wraps up the episode with Ashley from Disney Through Our Veins. What a fantastic guest. She was so lovely to talk to. And honestly, it was so fantastic to hear about her experiences of having worked in Epcot, meeting her husband Rob in Epcot as well, and her Disney experiences and Orlando experiences as a whole over the years. It was a really fun episode to record, so I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will speak to you all in the next one.